Hello, my name is Dr. Jason Wiggins, and I'm excited to be here with you again today. This podcast is meant for Gen Z and millennial leaders, and as we continue to move forward, I'm going to start putting a little bit of a spin on this. We're still going to be talking about those special groups because they are special. They're part of our core workforce out there, and a lot of the success that we're going to have is due to Gen Z and millennial leaders. So we will continue on that topic, but I want to start emphasizing what we can do, what we can get done. Where do we go from here? What kind of challenges are lying ahead of us? These are the impactful examples of what we can move forward with. The message about today's discussion is going to be about get this done. Get this done. What are you going to do this year as you finish up 2023? And what do you desire to get done as you move forward in 2024? There's so many options. There's so many different things that we can tackle. So many different things we want to do. As you sit out there listening to this podcast and you're thinking about what is next for me, I'm sitting here wondering where I'm going, what I'm doing. I haven't succeeded where I wanted to, or maybe I have succeeded where I wanted to, but I don't feel fulfilled. Well, that discussion today is what's going to resonate about getting it done. No more excuses. No more excuses from me. No more excuses from those who are in front of us, blocking us, the barriers that are they're keeping us from what we want. They are the barriers. We need to be able to get it done. So right now, as we start moving forward this podcast, I want you to think about for a second, what are the 3 things that I want to get done, that I know I can get done, but it's going to take effort. It's going to take dedication. It's going to take the need to succeed. Write those down. Write those 3 things down that you desire to get done. Because what I do know, I have a choice. You have a choice. All those individuals that resonate us around us have a choice about getting it done. And where do we go from here? Where do we go from here to get things done? Well, I kind of like to go back to my early years where I had a good friend, and his name is Jim. And he was a very good friend. We were very competitive with each other. He was one of those that always wanted to try to stay one step ahead. But he was a competitor. He is a friend that everybody should have. Why? Because it brings out the best in you. I have a great best friend that he means the world to me, and he pushes me as well. He gives me the right motivation, and I love him for that. But in this case scenario, I want to talk about this gentleman named Jim, because I remember one time he had just started working at UPS as basically he was a package handler. And I remember him coming to me after the first day. We were living together. We were roommates. And he said to me, "This is the best job I've ever had." And back then, 1995, 96, he was probably making about $20 an hour or so. And at UPS, that's good money. Plus, there's a lot of opportunities back then, as his goal was to become a driver at that point, even though he was briefly out of school. I believe he just had achieved his bachelor's degree. But that next day, as I saw him come back from work, and I said, "How did your second day of work go?" He said, "I quit." And I thought to myself, he's like, "Yeah, that was not the greatest job I ever had." And it's funny, from that day forward, we competed in everything. I wanted to be a boxer. He was a boxer. He wanted to do some specific choreographing. And I wanted to do choreographing. And we always kept on pushing each other to the next level. And at one point in time, he says, you know what? I want to go get my MBA. And at that point, I had just completed my bachelor's degree. And I said, you know what? I'm going to go get my MBA. And then he achieved his MBA. I achieved mine. And I thought, well, what's next? What's next? And I ended up going after a PhD. And long story short, he was like, okay, I'm done. But he ended up having 2 beautiful daughters. I had a beautiful son with my wife. And at the end, after all that friendly banter, competitive nature, we turned out okay. Why? Because we motivated each other. Competition. So the reason I share that story is I want you to think back to maybe some current friendships or friendships or key individuals in your life that have made you better or have competed with you or against you, but made you better, gave you those opportunities to be better, pushed you the extra mile. Think about athletics. When you're not the best and you want to be the best, what do? You give it max effort. Max effort. When you're thinking back in your high school years or your junior high, when you played whatever sport it was you played, and you gave it your best, were you happy? Did you succeed because you were happy? And the answer in most cases, it depends. It depends on what you were hoping to get out of it. Some people were able to do really well and go on to college and play college sports and maybe even go on pro and play pro sports. But no matter what, you had to give max effort. So that's what, going back to what we talked about earlier, getting it done in 2023, moving forward in 2024. What are you going to do? And that's the question we have to ask ourselves. As I mentioned, we have choices. These choices will not only help balance our life, push us in our life, but it will help you, me, and all those that are listening. It will help us achieve success. Why? When you surround yourself with key people, with people that give a darn, with people that want the best for you, with people that have your best interest at heart, those are the ones that you can carry on your back, because guess what? They would carry you on their back. They want you to succeed. So when you're looking to get it done, think about those key people in your life. Reach out to them. Find out not just how they can help you, but how you can help them. One of the key things in anything we do, business, sports, school, family, is the ability to communicate. And not only communicate, network. As we sit here today and we listen to this podcast, or we listen to other podcasts or other motivational businesses that are sharing similar messages, what are the key things that they're trying to convey? They're trying to convey that you can do it. I can do it. We can do it together. But if you don't write it down, the things you want to achieve, if you don't hold yourself accountable, then who else is going to hold you accountable? So if you have a task that you want to do, you have something that you want to achieve in 2023, write it down. Share it. Speak it into existence. As my wife would like to say, I'll give her credit for that. Speak it into existence. Because where you go from here, the choices that you can make, what you can do, it's all up to you. It's up to me. It's up to anybody that desires the ability to take that extra step, to be better, to do better for the family, to do better for their employer, to do better for spiritual reasons, to do better for whatever it is that's important for you in your life. And as Gen Zs, millennials, baby boomers, Gen X, it doesn't matter. Because guess what? All of this is available for each and every one of us, regardless of what generation that we are in. But we have to do certain things. One, we have to make choices. The life choices that we make today are the same life choices that will determine our overall success. When you can't get out of bed and you have no desire, you have to sometimes dig deep. Dig deep into that inner emotional determination, intellectual ability that each and every one of us has to define, to determine, what am I going to do? How am I going to get it done? Who's going to hold me accountable? That's how you get things done. That's how you open doors to your future. That's how you determine what I want to achieve stands just a little taller than I am. Think about that. Just what I want to achieve stands a little taller. I can't quite reach it. I'm straining to reach it, but it's not quite there. What do I need to do? I need to take that extra step. I need to get that extra education. I need to get that extra training. I need to develop that new personality trait. I need to talk with my boss to help me get where I want to go. I need to confide with my spouse to ensure that I'm getting support that I need to reach the goals that I want, that I deserve, that I can help make it not only a better life for my family, my child, my future family, everybody around me that supported me. These are what really matters. So let's think for a second. It's about not what you want, it's about what you deserve. But what you deserve is from the choices you make and the challenge that each and every one of us has to ask ourselves. What is it that's important to me? Is it relationship? Is it career? Is it family? Is it extracurricular activities? What are my passions? Whatever it may be, we all have our deciding abilities to be successful. Now, there are unfortunately populations that you can share this information with. You can reach out to them. You can try to motivate them. But nothing will actually resonate with them. For example, think of those that are serving life in prisons. If I come into a prison and I start motivating and talking about how life can be better, they have no chance to have a better life. But each and every one of you, me, we all have an opportunity. Because what is not promised is tomorrow. But what is promised, as we sit here, is today. So today is the day that you decide, what am I going to get done? What choices am I going to make to reach my goal? And how am I going to overcome the barriers to those challenges? So write it down. Open those doors that were once closed. I had several doors closed in front of me, but when I was able to achieve my PhD back in 2016, that opened a variety of doors. It allowed me to become an educator. It allowed me to become an executive. It's allowed me to develop a platform to share my thoughts, my expertise, my ability to discuss about Gen Z and millennials and the challenges that we all face and the changes in life that we all experience. But I just want you to take this one last thought with you today. Choices. Choices are what keeps us from experience the endeavors of true failure. In my last podcast, I talked about failure. I talked about failure, how it's a positive insight, because it is a positive insight, because without failure, you don't have success. But it's the continuous failure. It's the not learning from your mistakes That's the problem. Failure is not the problem. The choices you make will help determine your overall success and your overall failures. Get this done. Write it down. I challenge each and every one of you to share this podcast with those who you know. If you care about them in a special way, that they know that by sharing this podcast, they can write those 3 things down. What they're going to get done in 2023, they're going to hold you accountable for your actions, for their actions. You're going to work together to succeed. Then that makes this all worth it. That makes your competition, your friendly competition, as I used the example with my good friend Jim, it's healthy. It's invigorating. It gets you up in the morning. It gets those juices flowing. It gets you in the right direction to be excited, to be optimistic, to move forward. Get it done in 2023. You got this. I cannot wait to hear your success stories. If you'd like to reach out to me, please feel free to reach out to me at jason.wigginsprofessional@gmail.com. That's jason.wigginsprofessional@gmail.com. And I cannot wait to hear your story. So thank you very much. And I cannot wait to talk to you on the next podcast. Keep your thumbs up. Keep reaching for the sky. And reach for that extra step to get it done.